pair of teams here. Wacheter-Bahrami-Mcferron versus Sulaiman-Dykman-Allen. Here we are, round 14, Snubhorn Century. Going to start things off for McFerron down here on table C versus Zach Allen. Playing my favorite 2-drop in the format, Kitesail Corsair.
Kitesail Corsair has just been great throughout the weekend. 2 mana, you get an evasive 2-power creature. If you pick it early, it's good because, as we've learned, blue pairs well with all 4 other colors.
Sun Sentinel here for McFerron. So these teams kind of battling it out here. There's going to be a bit of a scrum at for the 4th position, we believe, in our top 4.
If the team on the right wins, then they will be X2 and 1 alongside Shahar, Austin, and 2, which means that there will be some tiebreaker math to decide who's going to make the top 4 here.
Stormfleet Sprinter for Zach Allen. Can't be blocked. Mutiny here from Dustin. We'll send the Sprinter to the graveyard.
Very flavorful mutiny there. A pirate killing another pirate.
Tillinolly's Crown in hand for Dustin. Elects to play it on the Snubhorn Sentry. All right. The O3 is getting in there. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, it'll demand a removal spell real fast when it becomes a 6/3 in a few turns.
With trample.
Yeah.
Kitesail Corsair undeterred, attacking in the air here for Zach Allen. And there we go, Crashing Tide. I was going to say, it's always a little bit scary to play a Crown versus a blue deck.
Yeah, the creature enchantments that were very powerful in Triple Ixalan draft have declined in value quite a bit with cards like Crashing Tide and
Deadeye Rig Hauler.
Yeah.
Expel from Araska. Not to mention Impale and Lurking Chupacabra.
And lots of ways that you get punished for them nowadays.
Coming in at 1 mana cheaper than Contract Killing. Raptor Companion hits the table there for Dustin McFerron. Waterknot in hand for Zach Allen there. Taking kind of a peek at what he's shuffling around.
There may also be a Jace Cunning Castaway.
I know, that's what I was thinking. I was like, is that a Jace I see? I haven't seen a Jace all weekend. In comes the Corsair for another 2. McFerron down to 12 already here in game 1.
Yeah, Snubhorn Sentry does a lot of good work on defense, but not when the opponent's creatures all fly.
There's another one. Speak of the Devil, Spirewinder added to the table there for Zach Allen. Another card just waiting for a send. Believe I see a Reckless Rage pulled to the front of Dustin McFerron's hand. Would kill both of his creatures he has in play currently. 2 to yours, 2 to mine, 4 to yours. Absolutely fantastic with enraged triggers. And dinosaurs who don't die to 2 damage. Yet another mutiny, though, is going to be the play here. Taking down the Kitesail Corsair. Spirewinder wanted to take over the ship, I guess. In comes the Raptor Companion and the Sun Sentinel. Spirewinder blocks the Sun Sentinel, and there is a slash of talons from Dustin McFerron to clean up Zach Allen's board. Slash of Talons, by the way, another card that I think has improved.
Oh yeah, I think it has gotten quite a lot better. I think 1-mana combat tricks in general, they were already very good, and I feel like they've gotten much better. Dive Down has been absurd for me.
Oh my gosh. Dive Down was already one of my absolute favorite cards from Ixalan. I would have decks, I'm not kidding you, with 4 Dive Downs. And it was good.
Yeah.
Jace Cunning Castaway hits the table here for Zach Allen. Pirate Jace comes in with 3 loyalty +1 whenever one or more creatures you control deals combat damage to a player this turn. Draw a card and discard, so you get to loot. The -2 makes a 2/2 blue illusion creature token with when it becomes the target of a spell. Excuse me, I was almost about to say spell or ability. Not how this one works. Sacrifice it. -5, Jace's ultimate. Create 2 tokens that are copies of Jace the Cunning Castaway, except they're not legendary.
Illusions.
Yeah, not tricks. All right, I think Jace here has created an illusion, represented by a Dominaria token. Hype. There is the Snubhorn Sentry back again. And there is a better use of Reckless Rage. Taking down the token, and the Raptor Companion attacks Jace, sending him to the graveyard.
Yeah, Jace, not long for this world, usually, in this limited format, I've found.
Just too fragile?
Yeah. It always goes down to 1 loyalty right away. It's really easy to sneak in damage these days.
Siren Lookout, the play there from Zach Allen. Explores, finds an island. Remains a 1/2. An all-star from Ixalan. For sure.
Zach probably pretty happy with that. I mean, he's winning the card war pretty well right now. McFerron had 2 for 1 himself when he used the Slash of Talons to finish off the Drake earlier. And
just non-stop removal here from Dustin McFerron, but there, just like you mentioned, there's a dive down from Zach Allen, countering essentially that bombard.
And just staving off any attack in the process there. Yeah, Zach's got to turn the corner here, but he seems to have quite a bit of time. Dustin, only 2 cards left in his hand, and not a very impressive board state either.
Looks like a Waterknot is going to deal with this Raptor Companion from Dustin McFerron. Goblin Trailblazer, the follow-up play. 2/1 with Menace. In comes the Siren Lookout for 1. Looks like a Divine Verdict and a Bright Reprisal in hand for Dustin McFerron.
Yeah, lots of cards that require passing the turn.
Gosh, his deck has so much removal. But using it on a 2/1 and a 1/2?
It seems like he may be forced to. Oh, well.
Here's a better target.
That'll do.
Stormfleet Sprinter hits the table for Zach Allen. And there's a Divine Verdict. Take 3. Snubhorn Sentry holding on the fort there for Dustin for quite a while in this game.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's quite as good in a deck like Dustin's as many of the other decks we've seen this weekend. It does well with token production, does well when your deck is a lot of permanents, but it seems like McFerron's deck has a lot of removal here.
Yeah, Pious Interdiction here is going to gain him a couple of life and lock down that Goblin Trailblazer, but that Siren Lookout able just to get in. Continually for 1 in the air, if McFerron will go back down to 9. Draws for the turn. Imperial Aerosaur, I believe, was a draw.
That's a really good card.
That's
there.
a nice one. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Permanent, so that was not a City's Blessing attack, but rather the bonus from the Aerosaur. Water Trap Weaver will tap down the Aerosaur, allow an attack here from Zach, who continues to get in with that Siren Lookout. Another single point of damage. Expel from Araska in hand.
And only 9 permanents right now for Zach Allen. He's going to want to play that last land before he expels anything to Araska.
In comes the lookout once again. Dustin. There it is. Bright reprisal on the Siren Lookout. He can save it.
And I like saving this Siren Lookout here. I mean, it's just going to go back to his hand. It prevents Dustin from drawing the extra card off the Bright Reprisal. And you're going to get that Explorer again. So you may end up with a 2-power flyer, which is much better in a racing situation like this. Even getting a land, it's fine because you're not going to draw that land on the next turn.
That's right. Imperial Aerosaur 3/3. It's able to battle through that 1/2. Ooh, it's a Huatli!
Well then. Warrior Poet incoming.
Nice. We've seen a couple of Planeswalkers this game so far. It's kind of cool. Huatli Warrior Poet 3 loyalty. Creatures you gain life equal to the greatest power among creatures you control is the +2 here. So Dustin would gain 3. Her 0, you get to create a 3/3 dinosaur creature token with trample. -X, Huatli Warrior Poet deals X damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures. Creatures dealt damage this way can't block this turn.
A lot of options here for Dustin. I mean, it seems like Zach's probably out of gas, so Dustin may just want to plus this Huatli and pass the turn, or he could get more aggressive and make a dinosaur and then attack Zach for 6 damage, putting him down to just 3. Seems like a nice play because it would put your opponent at 3 while you have 3 different 3-power attackers in the battlefield.
All right, so Huatli is in fact going to 0, making that 3/3 dino creature token.
Yeah, choosing not to attack there. Doesn't want to have to just trade one of these 3/3s with a Water Trap Weaver and or Silent from Lookout when there's going to be a double block from Zach Allen there. So we need a little more value out of that Snubhorn Sentry. All right, so see what Zach Allen is.
Water Trap Weaver will lock down that Imperial Aerosaur. In comes the Siren Lookout for another 1.
And he's going to need to...
there we go. Fix the sound for you. Sorry about that. Not quite sure what happened. The sound of a tournament.
Yeah, even if Dustin does not find an answer for the Siren Lookout and loses this Huatli over the course of the coming turns, just the ability to produce dinosaur turn after turn for, 2, maybe 3 turns, it's going to be really hard for Zach Allen to come back from.
All right, we're going to mute our mics now for the top 4 announcement, so no spoilers. Okay, and we are back, muted for the top 4 announcement.
And now Zach Allen's life total at just 9. We see Dustin McFerron with just tons of 3-power guys on his side of the table. 9 is divisible by 3.
Math lesson from Professor JVL here.
Yeah, thank you. Only 2 blockers there. I count 5 attackers.
Yep. Shipping with the team here. And Zach Allen is going to scoop him up. Game 1 there going to Dustin McFerron. Huatli over Jace in this matchup.
A really weird game there.
It was actually, because we haven't seen a lot of games that have turned out to be kind of so back and forth and so long. Nobody's won a match yet at this table, or a game, sorry, except for this match.
Yeah, and I mean, that game went super long. Dustin, to finally eke it out, had to have a Planeswalker play for multiple turns.
All right, let's check in here on table B, Bahrami versus Dykman.
Wow, look at this. So, looks like Steven Dykman has a Ripjaw Raptor and a Zatalpa in play. He also has Forerunner of the Empire, so every time he plays a dinosaur, he's going to get to deal 1 to everything. If he plays a pair of dinosaurs, he's going to get to do some really gross things to Amir's side of the table.
Well, we talked about this too. We said Forerunner of the Empire versus a Vampires deck is just a beating. Needletooth Raptor as well is going to be able to shoot something on Bahrami's side of the battlefield for 5.
Yeah, then he's making a Saproling. He's drawing a card. Lots of enrage triggers going off.
Ripjaw Raptor 2? This is nasty.
This is just gross. Never mind the fact that Zatalpa, is a double striking 4-power indestructible flyer with trample.
Wow. Completely decimating Amar Bahrami there in that game. Steven Dykman picking one up for his team on table B with a really excellent looking Naya Dinosaurs list.
Yeah, these Naya Dinosaur decks have really impressed me when I've had the opportunity to watch them in my rounds off walking around.
All right, let's peek in here on table A. Kurt Wacheter versus Raja Sulaiman. Blue-black pirates, unblockable creatures for Sulaiman.
And it looks like a
White-blue.
Yeah, I think it's actually white-blue-green.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, his deck is really interesting in the sense that what it does, Kurt's deck, is it creates tokens, both with white and blue cards, and then it's playing white for a pair of Pride of Conquerors that it uses as a finishing move.
Oh, that's cool. I love when we've been seeing these decks that are kind of outside the norm so far this weekend, and here's one of them. Get to catch it here in the last round of Swiss. And there you see another token creator, Crested Herd Caller, bringing along that 3/3. Sulaiman able to attack here, though, with a River Sneak and a Soul of the Rapids. A flyer and an unblockable creature. River Sneak, we almost forgot about you, now that we have our 1/1 Merfolk unblockable in Mistcloaked Herald.
An upgrade, in my opinion.
Yes. Desperate Castaways and Dinosaur Hunter up there for Sulaiman.
Though I'm happy to put a Curious Obsession on a River Sneak also.
Oh yeah, sure. I'm not going to be picky. In come the 3/3s here for Wacheter.
Looks like he does have...
Oh, he has another Deadeye Rig Hauler.
And not only that, but I think he also has some instant speed bounce in his hand to punish Raja for a double block here.
All right, well, Dinosaur Hunter is just going to jump in front of that Crested Herd Caller there. It does have Dino Death Touch, so down goes the Herd Caller. See if Wacheter wants to bounce.
Yeah, Dino Death Touch, surprisingly relevant. Comes up a lot.
It actually does, yeah. And it's just a perfectly fine bear. 2/2 for 2, if you need it.
That's a card that has really overperformed for me. You know, the pirate part of it matters. The fact that it engages in piracy. in a pretty close game. I think Raja has the advantage with his River Sneak and his Soul of the Rapids, but
and there we see the bounce. Deadeye, Rig Holler, up you go, you soggy rat. River Sneak. Siren Storm Tamer, the follow-up there for Wacheter.
Ah, the River Sneak was taken hostage.
Oh,
so
I see. Yeah, we see Hostage Taker in the graveyard there for Raja. Soul of the Rapids getting in for 3. Dark Nourishment here on the 3/3 Dino token from Wacheter. Will gain him some life, and Kurt is down a dinosaur. Yeah, the race is on here, 8-14. That was a great swing from that Dark Nourishment.
Yeah, Dark Nourishment's an interesting card. The fact that it can go to the face in this format is surprisingly relevant, and often you set yourself up for perfect kind of races, and then that card can sway them in a way that is very interesting and catches people off guard.
Attention BTQ competitors. Your standings after round 4
Here we go, an attack from Wacheter.
are making their way to the boards.
Deadeye, Rig Holler, Siren Storm Tamer into the red zone. Along with us, this is the last show of the MTG Red Zone. Then we'll be moving forward to Sunday Night Magic as we head into our top 4. Make sure you stick around for that. By the way, Team Draft is one of the most interesting things, at least for me, to watch on Magic coverage. I love seeing it. It's not something you get to see every day. Chart, of course, here from Wacheter.
It's a tremendous format. That's one of the more skill-intensive formats in Magic, especially during the draft portion.
Siren Reaver here from Wacheter at the discounted rate, thanks to Raid.
And Raja now
Nothing.
absolutely nothing, forced to stay back. Probably just going to trade with this 3-2 on the other side of the table. Could take the damage, though, for at least a turn. Right now, the hexproof body is holding back those other 3 creatures that don't have 2 power.
Tashana's Wayfinder here for Wacheter finds a forest. And he swings. Storm Tamer 2, Merfolk token, Siren Reaver into battle.
You told us what Reaver meant earlier today.
Yes.
It's a salty dog.
Yeah, just another kind of word for a pirate or a ne'er-do-well
A ne'er-do-well.
of the seas, if you will.
Does it have to be of the seas, though, for it to be a Reaver?
You know what? I think it does.
Wow. It's a pretty specific word.
I know. I had never heard it before. Old English for plundering forager.
Oh.
So I would say that is going to 99.9% of the time refer to a pirate.
It's like if I, hop the fence into my neighbor's yard and, take the mushrooms.
Hey, you
Or
Reaver, get back here with
You
those!
Reaver! Pick apples off their trees.
Here we see Pride of the Conquerors. Kind of part of Kurt's game plan here. Taking down that Soul of the Rapids and pumping his team. He does have the city's blessing as well. So it is +2/+2.
And with all these bodies on his side of the board, it's hard to imagine a way that Raja's going to come back and get into this game. But
Ooh, Golden Demise.
if I had to imagine a way,
That is one of them.
it would involve Golden Demise.
Wow, Raja able to wipe Kurt Wacheter's board.
And nothing left in hand for Raja, though, and it looks like Kurt is going to be able to unload.
He can rebuild. Pretty quick there. River Sneak along with Jungleborn Pioneer already has 3 creatures in play after that brutal golden demise. Raja just says go.
Yeah, with a pirate in hand that would betray him and kill him if he had played it.
Indeed. Kurt Wechter picking up that game there versus Raja Sulaiman. 1 game to Stephen Dykman. 1 game to Dustin McFerron. Let's head over to Table B. Amir Bahrami versus Stephen Dykman.
Amir Bahrami with a vampire deck.
A deck we've seen plenty of the teams build here this weekend. I'm usually surprised if at least one of the 3 players is not playing a vampire deck in this tournament.
Yeah, it's deep enough that if you're opening 12 packs, you should have a very strong vampire deck as one of your 3. Although, for what it's worth, the #1 seed, the team that was undefeated, the latest into this tournament, team of 3 Hall of Famers, they did not have a vampire deck as one of their 3 decks.
Yeah,
in the
that's
last draft.
that is true. They had a red-black aggressive deck, the blue-white unblockable deck,
And then the dinosaur deck.
on the dinosaur deck. You're right.
Polo played. I think that's the only time this weekend I've seen a team that did not have a vampire deck.
Yeah, it looks like Amir has a pretty nice one as well. I think I see a Profane Procession in hand. And there is one of the hallmark cards that you want if you're playing vampires. Squire's Devotion.
Yeah. 2 permanents towards City's Blessing. Some big tempo swings. Stephen Dykman, though, up a game against this Profane Procession on the other side of the table. He's the guy who has the Talpa that we saw last game.
Oh yeah, when we snuck in a peek at that insane board state.
Yeah.
Able to wipe everything out with Forerunner of the Empire. That was sweet.
Yeah, his deck is very good at using Forerunner of the Empire. The looks of things.
And here's a card that he likes to use with that Forerunner. Needletooth Raptor. 2/2 for 4. Enraged trigger deals 5 to a creature. Back over to Amir. Arch of Araska in play down there with his lands. Has been a card we saw Matt Costa use to wonderful effect earlier this round.
Yeah, Matt Costa was able to keep up with Kumena's Awakening.
Yeah. Secret Squire getting in there. For some life-linking damage.
Yeah, Amir's got to feel pretty decent about his chances here. That Profane Procession in hand. Needs to draw more lands to be able to use it, but not a ton of pressure coming from the other end. Fine to offer that trade with the Needletooth Raptor. Ooh.
Is this a Bishop of Atonement?
I believe it is.
Okay, so, excuse me, Paladin of Atonement. It is a 1/1 for 2. At the beginning of each upkeep, if you lost life last turn, you get to put a +1/+1 counter on it. When it dies, you gain life equal to its toughness.
It's like the Death Shadow of this limited format. It really is. Like, I played against it, and it was so hard to know when I should be attacking my opponent, when I should be staying back.
You're like, are they going to crack a fetch land on me? Oh, are they going to play? Just kidding.
Yeah. And Luna had been taking a nap when I had started the match also, so I was like having trouble concentrating because she had woken up, and I was trying to like play the match but also read books to her. It was a rough scene.
A peek inside the life of JBL.
Yeah. So this Daggertooth here. Stephen Dykman working his way back into this game. It definitely, I would say, even with that Profane Procession in Amir's hand, Dykman doesn't seem to be in too bad of a spot because he might just be able to win the game before Amir is able to get to the 5 mana that he needs to take full advantage of that super powerful rare.
All right, swinging in here for Amir. Life-linking damage thanks to that Squire's Devotion.
And the thing Amir has going for him, though, is that he's gaining so much life here. And
he's buying himself time.
Yeah, he's buying himself a lot of time to the point where he's going to get to that Profane Procession and take the game over with it. And he's really disincentivizing Steven from cracking back because he has the Paladin in play.
Kind of in just a lot of good cards here in Amir's hand. Fathom Fleet Border here. It's just a 3/3 for 3. No pirates in play, though, so he's going to take 2 off of it. Drops down to 31.
Yeah, but that's actually going to work out to his advantage because it's going to pump his Paladin.
There we
now.
go. Because it's at the beginning of each upkeep if you lost life. Now it's a 2/2. All right, so here comes something big from Steven. Reggie. Oh my gosh.
That's a really, really nice sword tooth here. So
it pinged the needle tooth.
Yeah, so 5 damage to the Squire's Devotion to creature. Gets to get rid of that vampire token.
1 damage to each other creature. Raging Swordtooth, welcome back from Ixalan. That was sweet.
That was really sweet. Raging Swordtooth is a card that's gotten quite a bit better also. Just Enrage in general has gotten so much better, and I think that Needletooth is such a big part of that.
Absolutely. I remember playing in Ixalan and just wishing kind of that the Enrage deck would happen. You heard pro players saying, I don't really want to draft red-green. It's just not good enough. Guess what? I think it just got good enough.
Same.
Recover here for Amir. He's going to get back that Seeker Squire and draw a card.
And that's really good for Amir because he needs to be hitting land drops here. He's at a very high life total.
But a lot of pressure coming across the table from him from Sulaiman-Dykman. And the potential for so much more. All of his creatures have a target on them. That Needletooth Raptor, hungry and ready to strike. Any amount of pinging damage Steven can do. Oh, is he holding a Tendershoot Dryad in hand?
It looks like he is, and Amir's going to have to get something down that can deal with that right away. Because that card finishes games very fast.
You can have nothing going on. Turn 5, you're like Tendershoot Dryad. I win the game now. I mean, it's just absurd.
You get the Sapperling every single upkeep.
Every upkeep. I had to read it when I played it. I was like, wait a second, do I just get it on mine? That seems, more fair.
Yeah. Oh, I just
no,
get a 3/3 every
both.
turn. It's mine? No. Every time the turns get passed around, you get 6 more points of power.
Sulaiman-Dykman into the red zone. In come the creature's Needletooth Raptor. Stays back. It is worth too much to him to have it die in combat. An embarrassment of riches in hand for Dykman as well. I mean, Amir's got some good cards too, but his struggle on lands has led him to be a little bit on the back foot here.
And Amir, that Procession in his hand, he doesn't know it, but Dykman has a Crushing Canopy. So he's ready.
He is. I wonder if he saw it game 1. Fathom Fleet Border down. Drover of the Mighty down. In for quite a chunk of damage there from Dykman. And here it is. Tendershoot Dryad as the play.
Yeah, and as soon as that Sapperling enters the battlefield at the beginning of Amir's upkeep, that is going to mean the city's blessing for Sulaiman-Dykman.
Wow. That Paladin of Atonement gets a counter, but things are not looking pretty here for Amir. First Sapperling token. Yeah, that's a 3/3. What does Bahrami have to do here?
It seems like there's not much he can do. It's crazy that he has this profane procession
I know,
in
right?
his hand. He has all these really powerful cards. He was at, over 30 life, and I can't imagine he survives another 2 turns even.
By the way, on table C, things all tied up. Dustin McFerron, Zach Allen, 1 game apiece. Seeker Squire here for Amir is going to explore, finds a land. Gains some more life here. Another vampire in play, but just outclassed by Dykman's creatures.
Yeah, so, I mean, he may get 2 more turns, but...
Another Sapperling. Thanks to the Tender Shoot Dryad.
The inevitability here. 3/3 getting spit out every single turn.
Dykman, though, does have to be careful with attacks.
Yeah, I think that at this point, Dykman can be pretty aggressive with that Pious Interdiction and just start sending everything in. Probably want to leave the Needle Tooth back, but besides that,
Just smash face.
I would.
All right, he agrees with you. Let's lock down that Paladin of Atonement, giving no chance for the life gain there
And I like
for
it.
Amir. Yeah. And in they come. I think I suffer from what a lot of Magic players suffer from, which is being too tentative with attacks sometimes, even though I'm somebody who loves to attack.
Yeah.
It was interesting. I was reminded today that nearly 4 years ago was my very first Grand Prix I ever attended.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Grand Prix Sacramento for you, right?
Yes, yes. The first time I ever met Kenji, too. I have a photo of, meeting Kenji. He's wearing, a Dealer Please shirt and his, Mardu hat with the horns.
That's great.
Needletooth Raptor here got into the fray as well.
Yeah,
Blocked.
he chose to send with the Needletooth Raptor also. But Steven Dykman looks to be in really strong control here.
Yeah, I was just checking. Needletooth Raptor does have to deal that 5 damage. So it had to deal it to that Paladin of Atonement, giving Amir the life gain off of it.
I feel like he would still want to do that because of, he's keeping Amir off the City's Blessing.
Sure.
Preventing Amir from perhaps playing, a Ray of Cleansing or something that could kill the Pious Interdiction.
All right, Dinosaur Hunter here for Amir. Exultant Sky Marcher 2/3 flyer. Back over to Steven Dykman. This game seems pretty well over and has been over for a number of turns.
Yes.
If I'm being honest.
Yes, it has. The Profane Procession in Amir's hand. He doesn't know it, but it does not look very good with the Crushing Canopy in Steven's hand.
No.
And Steven right now, this Tender Shoot Dryad. That Tender Shoot Dryad is the first card I picked in my first draft of Ravels of Ixalan.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And it was very good over the course of the draft. This is the first time I've seen it this weekend. But it is doing everything you would imagine it would.
There you see Dykman counting up the damage.
Yeah, he's gonna, I imagine, just send with everything. He might want to leave back the Sword Tooth just because it can trade with the Hunter, but it doesn't make that big of a difference.
I mean, once you get to this final round of play and you've got, top 4 potentially in your sights, you want to be pretty careful about what you do. There you can see Dykman stepping away from the table, not sure if he's taking a break or if he's asking a judge a question away from the table.
Maybe asking about the permanence of a city's blessing. Yes, it stays around, even if you end up with less than 10 permanents.
You're just blessed.
Yeah.
In come the Sapperlings here, along with that Ravenous Daggertooth for Dykman.
And Amir, likely just going to trade off a bit.
All right, he's going to try and save as much life as he can here, I suppose. Dinosaur Hunter trades off with that Ravenous Daggertooth, but it is going to trigger Enrage there for Dykman, too. We'll be able to gain some life points back. Overgrown Armosaur is the follow-up here, which we've actually seen quite a lot of this weekend.
Yeah, and I mean, it combos pretty nice with that Tender Shoot Dryad also. Now it makes 3/3s.
Yeah, you're right.
Not that you necessarily need them at this point. Just
win more.
No, there's no harm in winning a lot. Which is what Steven Dykman is doing right now.
Yes, yes. He is winning this match quite a lot. And there is a handshake. Amir agrees with him. And that is the match there on Table B. Steven Dykman 2-0 over Amir Bahrami.
Table C battling it out in Game 3. Table A, Kurt up a game. Close match happening here.
All right, we're going to head over here to Table C, Dustin McFerron and Zach Allen. By the way, I want to point out that our top match in Table A reads 1-0. This is Time Walk, so we cannot fix anything that already happened. But it reads 1-0, and it should read 1-1. So they are also tied up on Table A. So either this or Table A could be the deciding match in this round.
And things look pretty good for Raja here. A lot of evasive creatures.
Or Zach Allen.
Oh, Zach Allen, yeah. We're on Table C.
Who knows? He could be playing invasive creatures over on Table A as well. But yeah, like you said, massive board presence here for Zach Allen. Dustin McFerron, just 2 creatures in play. And with life totals pretty close to parity.
And Dustin has the Bombard. But this Sun-Colored Raptor, not something he really wants to devote mana to at this point.
What do you like better, Sun-Colored Raptor or Frilled Death Spitter?
Frilled Death Spitter, by a fairly wide margin.
I had a feeling that's what you would say.
How about you?
You know what? I've taken 4 on turn 2 off of that Sun-Colored, or excuse me, turn 3 from that Sun-Colored Raptor more times than I'd like. But I still think the other one's better.
So Zach Allen, enough evasion to close that one out.
And there you can see, in fact, it was 1 game apiece up on Table A. So the team of Sulaiman, Dykman, and Allen does take this match. So they were one of our teams here in the scrum for 4th for our top 4. We'll find out exactly which teams made it into the top 4 and watch some team draft coming up here in just a few minutes after these messages.